And Annihilape's going to be significantly faster in Gholdengo. Hell, I might end up not putting Gholdengo in the video. Focus Energy is going to leave us set up for the entire raid despite the cleanses. That's a great thing about Focus Energy. Nice. Defiant's going to do some work for us, though it's not that good work because... And I'm not going to use Drain Punch in this one just to show that it works without Drain Punch. Right? Because by default, we're going to be using Rage Fist in any raid where Ghost is neutral. We're only going to be using Drain Punch when we go up against Pokemon that... with types that resist Ghost, right? Because Ghost fighting is such a great offensive stab because you can hit everything at least neutrally, and it's particularly good on Annihilape. One of the many reasons Annihilape is so fucking good is because its broken move, Rage Fist, hits everything except for Dark and Normal neutrally. And those moves and those types are weak to fighting. So, you know, if you know Annihilape works against a Pokemon and it resists Rage Fist, then it becomes very simple. Okay, so now we're going to start the second stage here, and we're going to start bulking up. And since it can't hit us with Focus Blast, since we have a Ghost typing, we don't have to worry about this. This bulk up is going to reduce the damage no matter what it hits us with. We only got to worry about Dragon Claw and Iron Head. We don't need many bulk ups. Our focus energy is still there. I'm going to do a third one, but you don't need it. Now we got really good attack. We will end up at +6 by the end of the raid. And we can terastallize. This thing never cleans your Tera Orb, so you can take your time terastallizing. So, if we get crit here, we might be in trouble, but I don't think... I'm pretty sure we still survive. So now we have a critical hit boost, which means 50% focus energy gave us 2 stages of a critical hit boost, which means we have a 50% chance to land a critical hit, and that's going to be really helpful, particularly since Kommo-o is going to use Clangorous Soul twice. We cannot be one-shot, so once we get up to full health, our chances of losing are very, very low. Even when Kommo-o is doing double damage, because as you have seen, Kommo-o is not doing crazy damage. There's a crit, very nice. And this raid's pretty much over, so yeah, I'm not putting Gholdengo. Gholdengo can win. Stellar type Gholdengo can beat this no matter what type it is, and you can spend most of the raid on Turbo. But I don't know. It takes Annihilape a little, about the same amount of time to get to Turbo, but once you're on Turbo, the raid is just over in like 3 turns. I mean, we terastallized, we hit it once, we're gonna hit it a maximum of 2 more times, but it's probably over, right? If I crit, it's over, right? Is this thing over? I feel like if I crit, it's over. Even if I don't crit, maybe. Okay, don't crit. I just want to see what happens when you don't crit. Okay, that's not a crit. So never mind. We had to crit to end that, but like, who cares, man? This thing's over. Yeah, Stellar type Annihilape will work. The other demonstration will be with a Fighting type Annihilape. Stellar type shards are kind of slow to grind, but Annihilape's definitely one Pokemon you should consider giving it to, because then you can use the Stellar type Annihilape with both Drain Punch and Rage Fist, because Drain Punch is useful early in the raid, just keeps you healthy while you're charging that Tera Orb and doing the initial damage to get it down into 75% HP. But you're going to see, I'm going to demonstrate it with the Fighting type Annihilape as well, and it works just about as well. Maybe not quite as well, but it's still very smooth. It's still better than Gholdengo. So the fighting type Annihilape is going to differ slightly, more so in the build than the turn order. When you're doing the raid, you're pretty much just going to be using Drain Punch instead of Rage Fist. And then on the build, we want to do Covert Cloak. So again, we're going to do Focus Energy in the first turn, because, you know, it's a free 50% critical hit rate rather than less than 4, which is big. Okay, the Defiant procs, which is cool. So yeah, same ability on here. And then I'm just gonna Drain Punch. And Steel is the perfect... I was really lucky to find a Steel type Kommo-o. It's the perfect thing to demonstrate against. You can demonstrate both the neutral Ghost and the super effective fighting, which are the two types you need here. Again, you can do both of these strategies with a Stellar type. And you should, I mean, Stellar type shards, they're a little slow to grind because you can only get so many every day. Though you can get it from the the item printer too. But, you know, I guess here's an option for if you're a little slow on the Tera shards. But Ghost fighting is a very good typing. So whenever you're considering Pokemon to give the Stellar type, the first thing you usually want to consider is the defensive typing. Is it a defensive typing worth keeping? Right? Without the Stellar type, a Pokemon like... Wait, no, hold up. Okay, that's another difference. We want to Terastalize last minute. The reason is, the biggest threat... There isn't much of a threat before we Terastalize because of our Ghost typing. Once we Terastalize, it's going to start spamming Focus Blast, which is a higher base power than Iron Head and Dragon Claw, and on top of that it has a 10% chance to drop your special defense. Alright, it cleans us. So now, I can set up and not worry about Focus Blast. If I Terastalized there earlier, I would have to worry about getting defense dropped. And I don't know what it is about raids, but whenever it's a 10% chance, I feel like it's more like 30 or something, or 50. 2 or 3 bulk ups. I'll do 3. Just because I can afford to. Can I? You know what? I'm just gonna do 2. I'm gonna do 2. And Drain Punch Turbo. Done. Annihilape. I mean, the amount of things that make Annihilape so broken. First of all, Rage Fist alone is crazy. It's got all this. It's got good attack. It's tanky. It even has some speed on top of all that. Ghost and fighting typing's phenomenal. It gets Drain Punch, so you can run Drain Punch, but the amount of healing you get from Rage Fist is so good, it might as well be a draining move when you're holding that Shell Bell. And again, I have the Covert Cloak here, so it's going to start spamming Focus Blast, but it's not going to get the special defense drop because of the Covert Cloak. And I can afford to run the Covert Cloak Turbo on the fighting type because Drain Punch is getting me healing where Rage Fist would not. So, don't put a Covert Cloak on the Ghost type. Please. I'm still waiting for that scary face. Kommo-o is one of those raids that doesn't learn its lesson. It'll use scary face. It'll proc your Defiant, and it just won't learn its lesson. It'll keep doing it. In my testing, of course, when I start filming, when I turn that camera on and I hit record, it stops using. So now it uses a Clangorous Soul. This is where that focus energy is important, because those crits become very, very important. It's only a 50% chance we get it, but it's a big difference still, especially once he starts using Clangorous Soul. So now Focus Blast is doing big damage. Now you can see, if we get a special defense drop, that's a big problem here. And as long as I'm out healing this, I'm not. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I mean, if it procs Defiant one time, then I'm out healing it. I'm out healing not only this, well, I don't know if I'm out healing crits. Probably not. So is there a small chance that this can win when you're using the fighting type Annihilate? Probably. But if you're using Ghost or Stellar type, it's not an issue because you're not getting hit with Focus Blast. And that's the biggest threat to Annihilate. Is Focus Blast when it loses its Ghost typing. And yeah, the fighting type Annihilape I'd say is worth building because it can Screech and Drain Punch, and there's actually not that many Pokemon that can do that. Right? Iron Hands, Valiant, Hariyama can't do that. Kommo-o can do it. Kommo-o can do it pretty well. But even the Pokemon that can Screech and Drain Punch can't do it as well as Annihilape. I haven't checked in a while. I think those are the only two Pokemon that can do it. Annihilape and Kommo-o. I'm pretty sure. Those are the only two. Let's look that up real quick. Drain Punch. Shit. I can't type. Okay, Koraidon can do it. But as far as fighting types, Lucario, Koraidon, Annihilape, Kommo-o. That's it. So yeah, the fighting type Annihilape without Rage Fist is probably maybe less so now with the Stellar type around. But even then, having a fighting type that's not weak to Ghost and actually resists Dark could be useful. Alright, Gholdengo can be a little bit close. Stellar type Gholdengo. The good thing about this Gholdengo is you can always switch the moves around to beat it no matter what type it is. And it's pretty simple what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to use 2 Nasty Plots, get it down to 75% HP. At 75% HP, Kommo-o is going to clean the player, and that is the last time Kommo-o is going to clean the player. So at that point, I'm going to get my setup going again, back up to +6 on the second time. Since this raid does get close, we need all the damage we can get. And yeah, after that, we're going to go turbo, and it'll be over. Or at least, it'll be over for me pressing buttons, because I will turn on the turbo button and watch the raid and watch my Pokemon do the work. Very simple. Good as gold isn't that important here. Yeah, this one's definitely a slow burn. Annihilape's much better. I'm not gonna lie. But if you already have a Stellar type Gholdengo and somehow you don't have an Annihilape built, then there's that. Stellar type Annihilape is quite good here too. Maybe I should have just done Stellar type Annihilape and the other two. Yeah, I probably should have. Alright, now I'm terastallizing here because obviously when you're stellar type, your typing doesn't change, and Gholdengo's typing is what makes it so good. It can set up in the face of Kommo-o very easily. That should be 75, right? So it'll clean us, right? And of course I get the special defense drop on this one. Okay, so now we're gonna do our second and final setup. Instead of shell bell, metronome might actually be kind of good here. Nah. It's a little too risky. And it cleans itself at 60% HP. I haven't been able to squeeze in the metal sound in between. I thought about making that a thing. And you can do it with belly bolt as long as Kommo-o is not steel type. So you can't beat this with a belly bolt because it's immune to acid spray. But if it's something other than steel that is neutral to electric, I think belly bolt can probably work. That being said, I tried to make belly bolt work against a steel type and I couldn't do it. Let me just double check. Yeah. Now I turn on the turbo button. I'm at +6. I'm just gonna chill and let Gholdengo do the work. The damage will decrease because of Clangorous Soul. We're not worried about incoming damage at all. But we do have a 20% chance to drop the special defense. For this video, I'd kind of like to not get that special defense drop, just to prove that this works without it. But being able to drop that special defense is pretty good. Now, if Kommo-o has the ability Bulletproof, and he's immune to Shadow Ball, you can always use Flash Cannon. That's a good thing about solo. You know, you start the raid and you realize, oh shit, this thing's bulletproof. You can just run real quick, switch up the move, and go back in. But yeah, if you were doing this with Belly Bolt, what you would do is just spam Parabolic Charge. You'd use Parabolic Charge 3 times, Trash Slice, continue using Parabolic Charge, and then at 60%, I believe, HP is when it cleans itself. At that point, you're going to start sneaking in your acid sprays, and you get it to -6, and then you should be able to win. But you can't do that with the steel type. Or, of course, the types that resist electric. But Annihilape's just better here. I wanted to show you can win with Gholdengo, though. And I wanted to showcase the stellar type Gholdengo. This is a really good example. This is a really good showing of the stellar type in general, right? If you want to maintain the defensive typing that you have in Gholdengo's steel and ghost typing is perfect for Kommo-o, right? We can't get hit with Focus Blast, which is why we can afford to do this without the Covert Cloak, because we don't have to worry about special defense drops, otherwise that could be a problem. You know what? I'm going to use a Metal Sound, because that's going to double our damage. Oh my god. We got to get through the shield first. Oh, there's a special defense drop. That's nice. Now, if we're going from +1 to -1, then I'm pretty sure it's more than double damage. 50% boost to 50% drop. No, it's not a 50% drop. That's wrong. It's 75%, I think. They have 75% of the original when they go down one stage. So I will use Metal Sound here, just because it is a significant increase in power. So, yeah, we can be turbo for a while, but you gotta turn that turbo button off once the shield goes down, just to speed up your damage. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely more than double damage. Smash that like button and subscribe.